Hey, what's up? I'm Justin. Welcome to the channel. If you want to keep on top of all things eDrum related, click that subscribe and bell icon so you don't miss anything. There's a new version of the Roland TD50kv that recently came out. Now, it's a store exclusive, so it's not an official Roland drum set, but there's a lot of interesting ideas in the makeup and all the different elements of this drum set, so I wanted to talk about it. Before we do, I want to just run over all the different versions of the Roland TD50kv so you have a proper comparison to see whether or not this one might be for you or one of the other versions. All right, so let's start off with the Roland TD50K. So the first thing that hits you when you look at this drum set is the famous Roland pricing strategy. Look at that. You could buy this right now for $4,800 or $200 a month for 24 months. This thing's the same as a car payment. But I digress. We've already beaten this issue to the ground. We know that Roland has really high-priced drum sets. So the thing you got to focus on here is that the drum module, the snare, and the ride cymbal are the same. Pretty much everything else changes from kit to kit, like the hi-hat, the tom pads, the kick pad. I actually have a previous version of this, the Roland TD30K. Don't ask me why Roland decided to skip the number 40 and go from 30 to 50. Who knows? But I've got that drum set. It's a great kit. You can buy it right now. The prices are going down and down and down because it's no longer in production. But this one, I've got to say, is a big upgrade. You got that really nice digital snare. You got the TD50 module, which is another upgrade. You got the humongous ride cymbal. All this is happening on not even their flagship. This is the entry-level flagship. I can't even believe I'm saying this $5,000 drum set is entry level. Okay, so that's the K version. The next kit is the TD50kv, which we all know is $7,500. For this, you're getting an upgraded drum rack. You're getting like the best kick drum out there. This thing is an absolute beast. If you want to go see my first impression video of this kit and my first impression video of the TD50K, those are two different videos. I'll link them down in the description below. Both of them are absolute beast. You get most of the impact of the TD50 line on the K version. I played this one like 3 different times, and by the time I got around to playing the TD50kv version, the impact of the new module, the new snare, the new ride cymbal, they had already hit me. So this one isn't really a humongous upgrade from the K version. So, you know, if you want to go all in, of course, buy the KV version, but you can get most of the awesome features from the lower price version. So you got this great drum set, and then finally we have the third and final version of the TD50 line. We have the TD50kv Special Edition. So the only difference, as you can see right away, is that kick drum. It's not a pad anymore. Even though that other pad is amazing, it's the best electronic kick drum pad there is out there. This one right here, this is just a shell, and then you got a conversion package in it. So you can actually buy that separately. You can buy the conversion package for $300 and then find your own cheap drum shell if you want. That might be a cheaper route if you want to buy a TD50kv, but you probably won't find a shell for, you know, a deal that actually looks like this one because it's meant to match the shell wraps on the tom pad. So it's got this cool look to it. That's the official lineup from Roland. That's the recognized TD50 line. But sometimes music stores will actually cobble together different elements from different drum sets and make their own unofficial versions of these kits. And this one right here actually looks really, really cool. And it would probably be a good idea for Roland to make this an official TD50 drum set. So this is it right here. It's the Roland TD50kv Classic. So just by looking at it and looking at the price, $6,000 instead of, you know, $8,000 right here, you might think this has more of the DNA of a Roland TD50K version. But actually, it's completely the opposite. If you take a look at those toms on the TD50 Classic and the TD50K, they're completely different. Like, I actually have a couple of them right here. It's got a plastic body around it. These are actually really nice. They're incredibly accurate, very good pads. But these right here, these are from the flagship line, the TD50kv series. Now you'll notice there's some sort of black satin finish to it. So I'm wondering if Sweetwater's putting their own shell wrap on these. This actually isn't the official Roland kick drum. This is some sort of kick drum shell from some brand we don't know. If you look at the specs of the TD50kv Classic, Sweetwater doesn't actually tell you what kind of kick drum shell it is. But it's a black satin finish. So what they're doing is they're probably giving you a cheap drum shell because that's all you need. And then they're giving you the conversion package. So it actually brings down the cost of this conversion package because if they'd gone and got the real official Roland kick drum, that would have been an extra, you know, $500 to the cost or $1,000 to the cost. Who knows how much it costs separate. The black satin finish kind of gives it this unique vibe to it. And of course, the main thing is that there's no drum rack. That's the one thing you notice right away. So looking at this, it's got a whole set of DW9000 stands, and then you got a DW5000 snare stand. And then you've got a special module mount stand from Roland. This thing usually goes for about 180 bucks if you buy it separately. That's the PDS-10 stand. Yeah, these are all very nice components. The really cool thing about this drum set, this isn't a sales pitch for the drum set. I'm just comparing it to the other versions. The really interesting thing about this drum set is that you're basically getting the $8,000 drum set, except without one extra tom pad and one extra crash cymbal, because they only have one crash and one ride. So you could go on eBay right now, buy one extra tom pad and one extra crash cymbal, and you're getting an $8,000 drum set with brand new components. You're getting all that for about $7,000. Okay, but what if you bought those two components used and you bought them both together in a bundle for like 500 bucks? You buy a used cymbal and a used snare, or a used floor tom. Now that's only 500 bucks. And of course you need one extra stand for the cymbal and the extra floor tom. Okay, so you're saving money there. So right there, you've saved about $1,000, maybe $1,500 by buying this and then buying a couple of pads separate. But what if we take this a step further? You can build this entire drum set by yourself and actually save even more money. So let's start off by buying the digital expansion package. That's 3,250 bucks. So that's the core of the drum set. That's what makes it a TD50, the snare, the ride, and the drum module. The next thing you'll have to buy is the KD-A22 kick drum conversion package. That's $300. Go buy a cheap kick drum shell with a matte black finish for like $200. Bam, you've got that whole thing for 500 bucks. The last thing you'll have to do is go on eBay, buy some cables, go buy a few tom pads, an extra crash cymbal, and then a pair of hi-hats, and you're good to go. And you can probably do this for a little bit less than if you'd bought this Sweetwater exclusive package. Now, of course, this is all going to take you a bunch of work, okay? It's going to take you work, so it's probably easier just to go with the Sweetwater package. But if you wanted to create this for like $5,000, it is possible. You can get a TD50kv-ish drum set for about $5,000 if you do all this separately. I thought this whole Sweetwater drum set idea was really cool because not everyone wants a drum rack, okay? Some people want to just have this classic jazz feel to it. They only want to have stands. Because remember when Yamaha came out with their DTX 950K HWK version? Remember, it didn't come with a drum rack this time. Instead, it had individual stands for everything. I thought it looked really, really funky, but there were a bunch of drummers that loved the idea. They absolutely loved it. By the way, I just noticed that Yamaha isn't really selling this flagship drum set anymore. You can barely find it anywhere. Like, you can barely find it anywhere. Selling for 5,000 bucks if you can find it, but it looks like they're finally being phased out. I think Yamaha stopped making them a year ago at least. And then they're just finally selling out of their stock. I was talking about this yesterday briefly on the live stream, and maybe Yamaha's gonna come out with a new version, or maybe they're just gonna exit the electronic drum game, or maybe they're gonna focus on mid-tier and lower-end electronic drum sets. I'm not really sure what they're doing. All I know is the DTX 900 series seems to be sold out. Now, the only struggle with having a setup like this is that cable management is now a beast. The awesome thing about these flagship Roland drum sets is that the cables run through the drum rack. My Roland TD30 drum rack, it's amazing. I love the fact that the cables just magically show up where every single pad is. It's amazing. I love it. So last year when I bought that Cat Percussion KT4 drum set and used it as my travel kit with Roland pads and the Cat Percussion module, of course I had to use the cable snake because that's what can connect to the Cat Percussion module. And I really missed having the cables just, you know, running through the stand. That was really cool. And having, even though the Cat Percussion KT4 drum rack is pretty nice, it's kind of annoying that the cables don't run through that. All I'm trying to say is that cable management is so much cleaner, it looks so much nicer, you barely even see the cables on drum sets like this. However, when you have just individual drum stands for everything, like this set behind me right here, the cable management thing is a mess. Now, the way Sweetwater's attacking this is that they made some sort of custom cable snake thing for this. They don't really explain it. All they say is that it has a custom snake. That's all we know. At least they have that. I just hope it's not some sort of plastic thing that you'd have to cut through if you need to change out a cable, because that makes it really, really annoying. At least they have some sort of cable management built in if you buy this thing. Maybe I need to do that. Maybe I need to get some sort of wrap so I can sort of do some cable management over here, because this stuff is out of control. It sort of hurts the look of this whole thing because you want to make it look acoustic-like, but you also want to be able to change out cables at a moment's notice. So it's like, what do you do? You know, no matter what you do, it's going to be annoying. Eventually, when all the companies switch over to wireless pads, which isn't actually far-fetched, it's going to happen sooner than you think. VersaTrigger already does it. I've already got a wireless drum trigger over there. Eventually, everyone's going to switch to that. But until then, having something like a Roland TD50kv Classic, you're going to have to mess around with ugly cables until the dawn of the wireless pad future finally arrives. Anyway, I just wanted to talk about this. Really cool idea. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Would you rather buy, if you had unlimited funds, would you rather buy something like this, or would you buy the KV version with the drum rack? I want to know. I'm taking a poll right now. Let me know down in the comments below if you had unlimited money. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in a few.